Hi, people. Thank you for stopping by Building Wealth with Rajiv. A couple of you talked about doing some kind of a beginning series on investing with particular focus on stocks. So I thought I'll do it for you. This is the first part of that series. Now, I grew up on belief that stock market is nothing less than a casino, and it proved to be an expensive mistake. So before we even talk about investing in stocks, let me give you not one, two, or three, about 7 reasons why you should invest in stocks. Now, reason number 1, money multiplication. I think this is a most important reason for me particularly. Now, let me give you some example. Amazon went IPO in 1997. Had you invested about $10,000 in Amazon in 1997, you probably would be sitting at more than $12 million plus right now. Apple, another company. Had you invested in Apple around 2002, $10,000, you would be sitting at more than about $6 million plus. Now, that's a lot of money. Had you invested in your 20, your 40s will thank you for that. Reason number 2, secondary source of income. If you choose to invest in dividend stocks, or if you choose to invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts, they'll give you some kind of money every year. Either you can keep the money or reinvest the money for future growth. Either way, the money is yours. In the coming episode, I'll give you my idea on some of the dividend stocks and some of the REITs as well. So stay tuned. Reason number 3, inflation. Inflation erodes the value of money over time. Imagine a situation that you're living in a country where the inflation is 5%. Your boss comes to you at the end of the year and says that your income is increased by 5%. Yes, true, the income has increased by 5%, but what's the real increase? 5% increase in inflation, 5% increase in income, net effect is 0. However, if you're investing in equities or stock market, and if you're able to make 7 to 8% returns every year, it could be a potential game changer for you and your financial condition. Reason number 4, what are the alternatives? Now, if you don't invest in stocks, what else can you do? Let's go through the options. Option 1, you go to a bank and open a bank deposit or a fixed deposit. If you're lucky, you will get 0.5%, 1%, 1.5%, or 2% on your hard-earned money. Now, that's too low a return, I would say. Now, option number 2, you can buy a property. Now, property investment can be lucrative. If the capital gains, if it appreciates, the capital gains could be huge. But property comes with its own hassles. You'll have to find a tenant for the passive income. You'll have to engage a broker. Broker will charge its fees. There would be continuous repairs. Something is wrong sometimes, and you got to replace it. A lot of coordination is involved in that. Now, the biggest problem which I find with property is liquidity. If you need money and if you want to sell the property, it's not easy to sell the property immediately. It has its time, and it's possible that if you need money badly, you might end up selling the property at a loss. Now, that's not the case with stocks. Millions or billions of stocks are being traded every day, and it's very, very easy to sell your stocks in a minute. Now, option 3, which is a safe one, is investment in gold. Now, look at this side. You can see the comparison between what stock has returned over a period of time and what gold has returned. The returns for gold and the returns of stock, there is no match. Why would you want to put your money in an asset which is not going to yield significant results for you? Reason number 5, business ownership. Now, stocks are called stocks for a reason. They're nothing but a certificate of ownership in a company. When you buy a stock, you become a partial owner in the company. It really depends. If you buy 1 million shares, you're a bigger owner. If you buy 10 shares, you're a smaller owner. Nonetheless, you're the owner. Now, I would want to request you to look around and see top 50 richest people in the world. Invariably, they tend to be business persons. Now, business makes more money. Now, owning business is not easy. Creating a business is not easy. It's not everybody's job. So what to do? Be smart, delegate. Find an Elon Musk or find a Steve Jobs and let them work for you. Now, if you invest in Tesla or if you invest in Apple, any Tesla sold in the world gives you money. Any iPhone sold in any part of the world makes you money. Now, reason number 6, free. Economy has evolved a lot. These days, there are a lot of free things. It's not like the good old days that if you want to research on stocks, you would have to spend a lot of money. You'll have to buy this source, that source, and only then you'll get information. There are so many free sources. There are a lot of Substacks people are writing. There are a lot of YouTube channels which are free. For example, mine. There are a lot of blogs which are giving you a lot of information. Now, trading cost. It's not like the good old days. Now you can buy stocks for free. When you're buying a stock through certain platforms, you don't have to pay any commission, zero commission. If you want to buy an Apple, Amazon, or a Visa, you don't have to pay any commission. If you trade stocks, you don't have to pay any commission. So it's a real win-win situation these days. So now it brings to me the last reason, the seventh reason. This is the easiest as well as the most difficult reason. The reason is comfort, convenience. When you buy a quality company, when you buy an Apple, as we talked, or you buy a Tesla share, what do? You do nothing. You let the whole Tesla team work for you. You let the whole Apple team work with you. You don't buy or sell. You don't bother about the daily price movements. Keep a time horizon of 5 to 10 years, and you see the wonders will happen. So what are you thinking now? You must be thinking that if making money in stocks is so easy, then why isn't everybody buying it? Why isn't it everybody rich by virtue of owning the stocks? The catch lies in finding the good quality companies and sitting on them for years and years. Now, how do you find the quality companies? How do you assess quality companies? How do you assess the quality? In the coming episodes, I will show you how to assess the quality of a company in less than 10 minutes using the free resources. Now, that's it in this particular episode. I'll be back again with more details to you. If you'd like to hear again, please subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that you know when the next episode gets published, which should be in a week or so. I would love to hear comments from you. Please do write your comments. They mean a lot to me. Thank you and keep hustling.